Welcome to part 2 of the Terrence Howard Facts and Logic. Did you like my pen shop hero impression? Yeah, whatever. Just watch part 1 for context. That was so fucking shit. Okay, so let's start right where we left off, with Terrence Howard jerking us to near completion and then etching us. He was going to talk about some particles he found in the void of space.
I didn't come here not to show you. Now, whether you guys are able to express, understand some of these things, Lord help me, get confused. What I've done is I've figured out about 7 different elementary particles, fundamental particles. And then there were secondary generational particles that seemed to occur. And when these things began to build up more and more,
I'm not sure anymore if he's a schizo or a fucking genius. Apparently he found out about quarks, electrons, gluons, and a bunch of other stuff all by himself. Oh, and not just that, he found 70 types of particles. I cannot find 70 types of particles in Google. What the fuck did he do, Terrence?
they began to create their own systems. And these systems is what I brought to Oxford because I would like for you guys to examine them, put them to test. Because I bet you will find all the fundamental particles that they've been looking for in the unified theory of the universe. It's a big statement, but I've got a lot of stuff to back it up.
Okay, Terrence, please do it. Please show your evidence. You are about to become a legendary physicist. You can be among the few people whose fame has persisted through generations. You can be among us.
Can I go on?
Yep, you good?
Mm-hmm. I can't, without being able to show the pieces, it's a whole different monster.
Holy fucking shit, Terrence. At least show your fucking Lego pieces to the camera so they can watch it later and see them. This guy has made one of the greatest discoveries in history and he's just trolling Oxford. His brain is too big. We could never be able to comprehend his thought process.
But all of these wave conjugations, all of these states of matter, all of these things, it's time for that to be changed now. We have changed all of our buildings to be aerodynamic. Our airplanes are no longer based on a two-dimensional Euclidean way of life, but our math is still based on a two-dimensional way.
Terrence, can you for the love of fucking God explain how it is possible that our math is two-dimensional, but we can use that math to create those aerodynamic buildings and those airplanes outside of 2 dimensions? Alright, never mind, he's about to explain it, okay? Brace yourselves for another massive discovery, one that breaks math this time.
And I think in order for us to reach the future, we have to examine that. Do you guys know about loops in math? Do you believe in loops? Do you know the square root of 2? Do you think that's a loop? Do you believe that the square root of 2 is the square root of 2? I want y'all to take out your phone for a minute then. We're gonna do one thing. Everybody got a phone? Put it on the calculator and turn it to the side so you can get all the long numbers out of it. Now I want you to put in 2 and square root it. 2, hit the square root, you'll get 1.414213562373095 ... right?
This guy's a lost cause. He spent time memorizing that many digits of the square root of 2. What the fuck? Why?
Now I want you guys to do me a favor, cube it. It'll see right over there, it'll be x to the 3. Can y'all do it? Have you cubed it? It'll see 2.828, 4271, 2174, 6190. Now that makes sense. I want you guys to do me a favor, divide it by 2. Got that number? Cube it again. Divide it by 2, cube it again, and I want you to do that until the end of your lives. And that number will still come up with 2.828, 4271, 2174, 6190. Any other number that you, above 2, that you put in and you cube and you square, cube and square and divide by 2, by the 6th operation, it has moved into an exponential number that you can't even imagine. Any number below 2 that you do that same operation with, it will go into an exponentially small matter and number. This is what we call a loop.
Holy shit, Terrence came here to rediscover all of math. Terrence, there is a name for that. It's called a fixed point. You found that root of 2 is a fixed point of x cubed divided by 2. And by the way, square root of 2 is not the only number that does that. It works for 0 too, you should try it. But anyway, Terrence, please stop giving speeches about math and open a fucking math book. Please, please. The curves you want can be dealt with using calculus. Do you want to go above 2 dimensions? Well, that's great because you have multivariable calculus and linear algebra. What about fixed points in functions that you seem to be so worried about? Just a Google search. Just a Google search, dude. Just a fucking Google search. Do you want to know why 1 times 1 equals 1 beyond just intuition? Well, try learning about axioms and set theory and abstract algebra. Terrence, please, you can still have a redemption arc.
It is illogical, it doesn't make sense, and it does not make math make sense. So these are some things that I'm bringing to the fore and that I would like to question. I would like to audit the math, the world of mathematics, and I would like to audit how we view the platonic solids, because I think the new wave conjugations will tell a better story of how our world works. And that's it.
What a banger of an ending to his TED Talk. Yeah, fuck math, especially the platonic solids. I agree, they need to be audited. They have probably been tax evading. Also, remember how he said he didn't come here not to show his elementary particles? It turns out he's just a little prankster. It's not like he ran out of time or anything. We're 14 minutes in out of 52, and he was visibly waving one of them around while explaining the loop in square root of 2. Now that's the true glue balls.
It wasn't quite what I thought for, Chris.
Oh, trust me, it wasn't quite what anyone thought.
I've spent 45 years searching these things out and trying to figure out what the universe really, how it really worked. And we've come to find that the universe, they are abandoning the standard model, the ideas of black holes and dark matter, for an electric model of the universe that is in response to the Birkeland currents and all these things. It's a better version, a better vision of how we should see the universe. That's how I see it, and I think it should be explored.
Did he just say he spent 45 years on this? Oh my god. Also, I think he implied he has a better understanding than physicists too. Holy shit.
So just to add some context to this, Terrence and I have spent the afternoon together, and Terrence has showed me a lot of this and explained to my feeble mind.
Oh well, at first I was feeling bad for that guy for having to listen to all of this, but with that last remark about his feeble mind, suddenly it feels like this entire thing was planned to make fun of Terrence, and I almost feel bad for Terrence now.
The shortest distance between 2 points is curved space, because you cannot force your way straight through space. Even electricity, as it moves from a southern plane to a northern plane, it always goes northeast in its direction. And magnetism, as it expands out, it goes southwesterly. And that's the spin. That's how you always know whether it's magnetism or electricity. It's the spin.
Oh my god, the spin is a fucking JoJo reference. I knew it. There was gonna be a punchline, and this is it. Forget anything I said. He's a damn genius.
Well, here we are on this planet. Can I do that point? Our planet is moving away from our sun at 6 inches a year. You guys know that. 15 centimeters a year, our planet is pushing away from the sun. So in less than 500 million years, our planet will be out of the Goldilocks zone. We'll be somewhere near where Mars is, somewhere halfway between there. So life will not be able to be sustained on this planet anymore.
In less than 500 million years, the Earth will be out of the perfect range of temperature for life. You can say a lot of things about Terrence, but you can't say he doesn't think about the long term, that's for sure. After this, he says something about using curves instead of straight lines to become interstellar and all that, but I wonder, does he even have any ideas on how to apply the flower of life? What would happen if someone gave him leadership of a team of professionals to work out how to do something like build a machine to explore Mars, like the rover, for example? example. And after all that, they say something about neutrinos not existing and the sun being powered by an external force, and somehow that turns into this.
Are they laws or are they ideas of physics?
Well, why don't you respond to that and talk about how a lot of people have that sort of narrow mindset? And you talked about identity.
Yeah, the identity element. And then the things that make our math works. Like if I said to you, what's 1 times 1? What'd you say, 1? It equals 1? Now, what would Newton say is that? Action times an action. That's a reaction, right? Anybody in here that thinks 1 times 1 equals 1, then you give me 2 pounds and I'll give you a pound back. And we'll call that even, right?
Jesus fucking Christ. Terrence, has it ever occurred to you that you are talking about addition? That already exists. It's addition.
Because 1 times 1 equals 1. An unbalanced equation. What we need to do is, the first thing in math is you're supposed to have a balanced equation. 1 times 1 equaling 1 is an unbalanced equation. In comparison to if I said, what's a dollar times a dollar? Anybody know it's a dollar? Well, what's a dime times a dime, or 10 pence?
10 pence, yeah.
10 pence times 10 pence? That's a pound, right? 10 pence times 10 pence? Is that right, honey? Yeah, yes. What about 100 pence times 100 pence? That's a pound times a pound, right? That's $100, ain't it? What about a quarter? What about 4 quarters times 4 quarters? That's a dollar, right? That's a pound, right? Well, that's $4.
No, Terrence, you are multiplying units wrong. It's physics 101. 1 meter times 1 meter equals a meter squared. By the same logic, $1 times $1 is $1 squared, whatever that unit means. If you take 100 cents times 100 cents, that's 10,000 cents squared, which is equal to $1 squared. Just like 1 meter squared is 10,000 centimeters squared.
Now, all of these things are legal. The banks can say $1 times $1 is $1 and give you that. Or the banks can say to a friend, $1 times $1 is a quarter times a quarter. It's 4 quarters times 4 quarters, and give that person $4. They can say to another person, $1 times $1 is 100 pence times 100 pence. That person gets $100. So that money is generated. And this is all legal. Do you think it's not happening in the banks? This is what 1 times 1 equaling 1 has got us. This inconsistency of our monies and our economy is sitting in the balance.
Well, now you know why the rich stay rich. I'm surprised he didn't commit suicide by 2 shots to the head after this video was posted. They must be afraid of him.
And the rest of our future is sitting in the balance because our science has been stunted as a result of the problems in mathematics, because math asks for the basic laws of physics to break down in order for 1 times 1 to equal 1. And math is the foundating laws of math is supposed to support the laws of physics. They are arm in arm.
Oh my god, he almost connected 2 brain cells there. Did you hear it? He said math is supposed to support the laws of physics. He is this close to realizing that physics rely on math and not the other way around.
They cannot be in controversy with each other. So we need an audit on the platonic solids.
This guy fucking despises the platonic solids, and he hasn't even said why yet. Terrence, please, the platonic solids are not as important as you think they are. I promise, they are not.
If you have a question, raise your hand nice and high. You can ask about the physics or the acting. Terrence is happy to. Yeah, let's start with
He's
you.
a lawyer physicist, I'm an actor.
Wait, he's a laureate physicist? Oh my fucking god, how did they even meet? If he is a laureate physicist, then he knows Terrence is full of shit like a public toilet. Maybe this is what April Fools looks like in a university. They just bring some rando who can't understand basic arithmetic to talk about the theory of everything. Sadly, it was in December 2017, so I guess that theory is wrong.
I was going to ask, how are you living day-to-day life knowing that the rest of the world is doing it, quote-unquote, incorrectly?
Well, it's been 40 years of me dancing on this thing. For 40 years, I was told I was wrong. For 40 years, I was told that, the platonic solids and all those were the solids. You have to have faith in self. All of this, I can sit up here and tell you guys that, I'm the smartest man in the world. I figured out what Da Vinci and none of them could do. The truth is, You really want to know the truth?
Do you want to know the truth? I promise, you are not ready for this shit. If I gave you 1,000,000 attempts to guess what he's gonna say next, you still wouldn't come close.
This may be crazier than the fiction. The truth is, I woke up inside my mother's womb at about 6 months of age. I woke up inside of there. Like, boom. I don't know what had happened. Maybe my mother went through some trauma or whatever. But I woke up and I was like, oh, God, I'm here. I'm here. Don't forget, don't forget, don't forget, don't forget, don't forget. This is truth.
Oh my fucking god, Terrence, please lay off the fucking shrooms. We are talking about physics, not dream memories, okay? There's a misunderstanding here, I feel.
Don't forget, don't forget, don't forget. Just go by. Every once in a while I would think about something and this would come over. And I didn't know it was my hand. I thought it was a friend. I had my whole name for it. Inside that womb, you were conscious. You woke up, because with our son Kieran, when he was my wife was 6 months pregnant, we would put the light on her stomach and he would follow it and push on it. And then we'd put the music and we'd put it all the way over to the other side and he would crawl all the way over to the other side of the stomach and push at the light with the music. So what I'm saying to you, you are conscious inside the womb, but we have no common frame of reference. But I remembered, don't forget, don't forget, don't forget, because I knew I'd been here. Don't forget. And you know what I didn't want to forget? This flower of life.
Oh shit, maybe I'm the weirdo now, but I was not conscious in the fucking womb. This guy has to be really intelligent. He had the concept of memory and the concept of friendship when he was still a fetus. And not only that, he was also interested in the mythical flower of life, which Da Vinci couldn't decipher apparently, so absolute galaxy brain, perfect, brilliant.
And what I tried to tell you guys earlier, this is not your first time, it's not your first rodeo, and it won't be your last rodeo. Don't panic in this life. You can actually, there's no sense of death. Everything goes to sleep and it wakes back up again.
No fucking way, he just cured death. He realized if Da Vinci couldn't decipher the flower of life in a lifetime, nobody could, obviously, right? Which is why, logically, he gathered the Dragon Balls to reincarnate himself as someone else, so he can spend 2 lifetimes deciphering it. So that's why he was conscious in the womb. Yeah, I get it now, that makes sense. And with this revelation, I'm going to end part 2. I'll just make a 3rd part to finish everything, and trust me, shit is gonna get intense at the end. It's gonna be worth the pain of this entire journey. So if you wanna see it in your notifications, subscribe obviously, and like, because why fucking not? Just do it.